Shalom, family. I thank you once again for joining me in the reading and understanding of Scripture. Today, family, we're going to talk about signs and wonders of how we're going to need to be very careful and watchful of what we see and what we believe. Satan and his followers are manipulators of truth. He is the opposite of the Most High. Opposite meaning in the way that he operates. He's not equal to the Most High in no form, okay? But he's a counterfeit. So everything that we read that's of the Most High, he comes up with something very similar, and it will deceive people. He has his way of making the things that you see believe that this is the end. You know, he's using Scripture to bring about different events in this world that it will deceive people. In other words, the wicked are making up their own prophecy using Scripture. Okay? We know that in the day of the Most High, it's going to be total destruction. We know it's going to be famine, pestilence, and all this. So man in his wickedness, he's able to bring about these things right now. I mean, he has the technology to create an earthquake whenever he wants to. You know, he has electronic pulses that he can send into the ground to disturb the plates in the ground and cause a volcano if he wants to. He's cloud seeding, manipulating, the weather. And he would have you believe that this is of the Most High. Just like the Pope is saying that all these things that's happening now, the climate change and all these floods and hurricanes and all that is actually the Most High's wrath, and he's about to come. Now, we won't get it twisted. There is nothing that can occur on this earth without the Most High signing off on it. He's allowing man's wickedness to do these things, okay? But that is not for the believers to be deceived by. All right? Yeah, he can. Man is creating a famine even as we speak. But just think about it, family. If the Most High creates a famine, it's a famine indeed. A real one. When he sends pestilence, it's a real one. You're not going to have to pick up no newspaper or social media or TV to know that it's a real one. Because you're not going to need nobody to tell you the numbers. These people died here of this and that. No. It will be total. You won't mistake it for nothing else. Okay? And man has the ability to create images in the sky that are very real-like. And just in the days when Moses was going to get his people and using the signs that the Most High told him to use, they had magicians then that could duplicate at least 2 or 3 of the things that Moses did. But see, the Most High start giving Moses things to do that they could not duplicate. So man can only duplicate so much. When it comes to the sun and the moon and all that, he has no control over it. Now man can attempt to limit the sun by covering it up, but him actually controlling the sun like the Most High is going to do, it's going to turn dark. The moon quit giving its light. See, man can't do that. He can only cover up. It's counterfeit. See, the Antichrist is going to be able to do wonders himself. But see, this is all to deceive people, into thinking he is the real Messiah. Okay? By the things that he do. And so nowadays we're just being set up for it. Even now, they've come up with things that, okay, if you don't do such and such, you can't buy, sell, or nothing else. See, that comes from the scripture, but that's not what the real mark is. The real mark is about worshiping the Antichrist. Believing that he is. When he comes and try to set peace on earth, then destruction comes. A lot of people gonna follow him, thinking that he is the Most High. So all these things that we see now we're just, basically being set up. Once again, let's not make no mistake about it. Nothing can happen. Nothing. Without the Most High signing off on it. He's allowing these things to happen for his purpose. And one of the main purposes is to gather his true believers together and separate the wheat from the tares. He's going to see who's going to remain loyal, who has faith in him to deliver us and not in man. So he allowed these things to happen. But make no mistake about it. This is not the kind of destruction that this world is headed for. Okay? So, I'm going to start off with Matthew 24. Let's see, I'm going to start at verse 4. And Mashiach answered and said unto them, take heed that no man deceive you. See, he's telling you right there. For many shall come in my name, saying, I am Christ, and shall deceive many. And you shall hear of wars and rumors of wars. See that you not be troubled. For all these things must come to pass, but the end is not yet. Now we seeing wars and rumors of wars. It's in the news every day. But it's not the end yet. See, Mashiach done a good job of telling us what to look for. For nation shall rise against nation, and kingdom against kingdom, and there shall be famine, and pestilence, and earthquakes in diverse places. Well, family, we've always had earthquakes, and different disturbances in the weather. But man is using this to create his own prophecy. Man now thinks he has the ability to tell you how many people are going to die from this and that and when. See? and he attaches it all to the things that you see. Of course, there's earthquakes. Haiti just experienced one. But we've been hearing about earthquakes ever since we've been here. And tornadoes and things like that. But that is not the destruction that the Most High is going to administer. That, what we seeing now is lightweight stuff. This is just the little beginning of stuff. Verse 8 say all these are just the beginning of sorrow. Let's go down to verse 11. And many false prophets shall rise and shall deceive many. And because iniquity shall abound, the love of many shall wax cold. But he that shall endure unto the end, the same shall be saved. All right? Now let's find out what else needs to happen. Verse 15. When ye therefore see the abomination of desolation spoken of by Daniel the prophet, stand in the holy place, whoso readeth, let him understand. See, that has to happen too. Okay? Let's see, verse 21, it says, for then shall be great tribulation, such as was not since the beginning of the world to this time, no, nor ever shall be. So, family, when that destruction and tribulation hit, it's not going to be like anything we've ever seen before. We've seen tornadoes and hurricanes and earthquakes. He said, no, this is going to be something else. He said, such as was not since the beginning of the world at this time. So it's not going to be just your little regular stuff that's going on. This is going to be totally frightening. Verse 23. Then if any man shall say unto you, lo, here is Christ, or there, believe it not. See, man is going to have the ability to put images in the sky and anywhere else he wants to, and people are going to believe it. There is going to be a great falling away. We're not talking about fall away when you got a handful here and a handful. No. This falling away is going to be worldwide. Everywhere. People are going to fall for it. Okay? Verse 24. For there shall arise false Christs, false prophets, and shall show great signs and wonders, insomuch that it were possible they deceive the very elect. See, when we think about false prophets and all that, we normally our mind run to false preachers and teachers and all that. But see, the wicked are false prophets too. See, they create things to happen and attach it to prophecy. They copycat it. Those things that are written, then they try to duplicate it. So they try to create their own prophecy. So when Mashiach come, it won't be any mistake. Verse 27 say, 26. Wherefore, if they shall say unto you, behold, he is in the desert, go not forth. Behold, he is in the secret chamber, believe it not. Verse 27, for as lightning come out of the east, and shineth even unto the west, so shall also the coming of the Son of Man be. Now, let's go down to 29, see how this looks. Immediately after the tribulation of those days shall the sun be darkened. See, man can't do that. And the moon shall not give her light. And the stars shall fall from heaven, and the powers of heaven shall be shaken. And then shall appear the sign of the Son of Man in heaven. And then shall all the tribes of the earth mourn. They shall see the Son of Man coming in the clouds of heaven with power and great glory. See, this is something they can't duplicate. And that's Mashiach's return. Now, they can put all kind of images and things like that to deceive people, but they can't duplicate that. Okay? Let's see what that day look like, if it's looking at like anything that we're experiencing now. Joel chapter 1 verse 15, alas, for the day of the Most High is at hand, and as a destruction from the Almighty shall it come. All right. Amos 5:18, woe unto you that desire the day of the Most High. To what end is it for you? The day of the Most High is darkness and not light. See, this is going to be something that we nobody's ever seen before since the beginning of the world. Zephaniah chapter 1 verse 15. That day is a day of wrath, a day of trouble and distress, a day of wasteness and desolation, a day of darkness and gloominess, a day of clouds and thick darkness. Let's go up one verse. Zephaniah 1:14. The great day of the Most High is near. It is near and hastens greatly, even the voice of the day of the Most High. The mighty men shall cry there bitterly. See, we're not experiencing that yet. All right? It's not the things that we see now, family, though the Most High is allowing them. But when He actually issues out judgment and pestilence and tribulation, won't nobody have to tell you. Okay? We ain't gonna need no news media to tell you. You gonna know, especially those of us that believe. Okay? 2 Peter chapter 3 verse 10 through 18. But the day of the Most High will come as a thief in the night, in the which the heavens shall pass away with a great noise, and the elements shall melt with fervent heat. The earth also and the works that are therein shall be burned up. Verse 11, seeing then that all these things shall be dissolved, what manner of person ought you to be in all holy conversation and godliness? Verse 12, looking for and hastening unto the coming of the day of the Most High, wherein the heavens being on fire shall be dissolved, and the elements shall melt with fervent heat. That don't sound like nothing we're looking at right now, does it, family? What's this? Joel chapter 2 verse 30 and 31. And I will show wonders in heavens and in the earth, blood and fire, pillars of smoke. The sun shall be turned into darkness, and the moon into blood, before the great and terrible day of the Most High come. See, it describes it. It's terrible. See, we're kind of dealing with what's going on now, you know. Oh, okay, it was a flood here and a tornado here and, an earthquake there. But we're not really shaken by it unless you just happen to be in it. But when things begin to happen, when the day of the Most High comes, we'll see it. We'll see it. Let's see. Obadiah. I think that's chapter 15. I believe that's verse 1, if I ain't mistaken, family. Correct me if I'm not correct. Well, let me check it first. Just a second. Let me check it. Yeah. That's Obadiah chapter 1, verse 15. Yeah, I'm correct. Okay. Obadiah 15, verse 1. Obadiah chapter 15, verse 15. I'm sorry. For the day of the Most High is near upon the heathen. As thou hast done, it shall be done unto thee. Thy reward shall return upon thine own head. See, this is what's going to happen. See, right now, it looks like the wicked is winning, family, don't it? So we know that day haven't come yet, because they look like they're winning. They're not, but it just appears that way. See, the Most High is using them to bring about his destruction, fulfill his prophecies. They're not winning. Let's see. Jeremiah 46:10. For this is the day of the Most High Elohim of hosts, a day of vengeance, that he may avenge him of his adversaries. And the sword shall devour, and it shall be saturated and made drunk with their blood. For the Most High Elohim of hosts hath a sacrifice in the north country, by the river Euphrates. See, this is a total different thing than what we're experiencing now, family. So we can't afford to be fooled by the signs and wonders of men. They can duplicate to a certain extent, okay, with all the technology and knowledge they have, which was probably brought to them by the fallen angels. But they can only go so far. Daniel chapter 12, verse 1. And at that time shall Michael stand up, the great prince, which standeth for the children of thy people. And there shall be a time of trouble, such as never was since there was a nation, even to that same time. And at that time thy people shall be delivered, every one that shall be found written in the book. See, that's what's going to happen, family. It's you know, it's just total destruction. It's not what people would have you believe now. Though I might add, we're living in the last days, you know. But nobody knows the day and the hour, and so that's why I don't listen to people when they start, well, the next 2 months or next year, or we don't know when that's going to happen. You know, that's totally up to the Most High. And we can find that out. Go to Acts chapter 1, verse 6 through 7. And these is his disciples, you know, talking to Mashiach. When they therefore were come together, they asked of him, saying, Lord, wilt thou at this time restore again the kingdom to Israel? Verse 7, that's what Mashiach said. And he said unto them, it is not for you to know the time or the season, which the Father has put in his own power. See, even in the days of Noah, Now Noah knew something that something was going to happen, but he didn't know when. You know, he found out, and when he knew, it was when the Most High told him to go in the ark and close the door. That's when he knew. He knew something was going to happen because he kept trying to preach to the people and warn them. But they didn't listen. Okay? So it just came up on them suddenly. So we can't sit here and try to pinpoint when something's going to happen. Now, all power is in the hands of the Most High, and I always say this repeatedly. If the Most High wanted all prophecy fulfilled within the next week, he can do so. Everything that's remaining in prophecy, it can happen back to back in a week if that's what he chooses to do. Okay? So we have no idea. We do know the time that we are living in, and we know something is coming pretty quick, but we just can't say when. We can't say if it's next week, next month, next 5 years. We can't say. All we can do is watch. You know, stay on guard. Don't get deceived by men. All right. What's another sign? 1 Thessalonians 5:3. For when they shall say peace and safety, then sudden destruction cometh upon them, as travail upon a woman with child, and they shall not escape. See, these people this false Christ, false teachers and stuff, they gonna promote peace and safety. You know, everything that's happening now, they trying to attribute it to the Most High, so to speak. They're trying to say that everything that's happening now is because we have to get back to Sunday worship. See? So all these things that started by man and stuff, that's his way of making people believe that this is the Most High's wrath, and the time is now. And so we, to avoid this, to fix all this stuff that's going on, they say that we need to return to Sunday worship. And a lot of people are going to do it. Well, a lot of people doing it now. You know, all the Christian churches and other churches, they still worshiping on Sunday. So it's not going to be a problem with them. But there are going to be believers, the ones who presently keep the correct Shabbat. They're going to even turn and fall away. Okay. Let's read Revelation chapter 6, verse 12 through 17. And I beheld, when he had opened the sixth seal, and lo, there was a great earthquake, and the sun became black as sackcloth of hair, and the moon became as blood. And the stars of heaven fell unto the earth, even as a fig tree casteth her untimely fig, when she is shaken of a mighty wind. 14. And the heaven departed as a scroll when it is rolled together, and every mountain and island were moved out of their places. And the kings of the earth, and the great men, and the rich men, and the chief captains, and the mighty men, and every bondman, and every free man, hid themselves in the dens and in the rocks of the mountains, and said to the mountains and rocks, fall on us, and hide us from the face of him that sitteth on the throne, and from the wrath of the Lamb. Verse 17, for the great day of his wrath is come, and who shall be able to stand? So we can see just how terrible that day is, family. And you know, the scriptures in Matthew 24 told us that if it was possible, these signs and wonders and things would deceive even the elect. See, if it was possible. It shouldn't be possible, not if we know the Most High, not if we following Mashiach and obeying his commandments. It shouldn't be possible for nobody to deceive you. But when you start wavering in and out of faith and all that, then you can get deceived. When you start following man, here's Christ over here. Oh, he's going to show up over here. It said, don't go. Because we won't mistake his coming, family. They cannot fake that. They cannot duplicate that. As I say, they can put all kind of images in the sky all they want. And pull off a few little miracles, you know, with their little sleight of hand and everything they do. But they can't duplicate that sky rolling back, you know, like a scroll, and the sun turning black, the moon turned to blood. They can't do that. No way. They can just do things to deceive you. So let's all stay in the Word. Be reminded daily of how things are going to take place. You know, because if you don't, you'll be one of them that get deceived. You know, you definitely will be one of them. This is just that time, family, that we gotta be watchful and don't listen to every doctrine and so-called prophets telling you when something gonna happen and all that. Just believe what Mashiach said. Believe what the Most High say. You know, stick to the word and not what man believes is going to happen. And I believe that if we do that, we'll be okay. All right? Okay, family. Remember, just stay on guard and watch. Don't go back to sleep. You know, we can't nod off now. We can't take naps now. We got to stay wide awake at all times. Okay? Because, man, you go back to sleep, then you're destined for failure. Okay? All right, family. I'll talk to y'all again soon, Most High willing. And with that, I'll say shalom.